Pondering her unfortunate stay at Seaside Village was not helping her sleep. Restless, Marie tried to get comfortable. Sitting up briefly, she removed one of the pillows from under her head and tossed it to the foot of her bed. Settling back on the remaining pillow, she pulled the sheets and blankets up to her chin. Her hands now under the bedding, she folded together and rested on her belly. Just as she glanced to the partially open doorway, she heard it, steps coming down the hallway in her direction. The sound of footsteps stopped. Marie stared at the doorway. She watched as a dark figure pushed open the door to enter her room. Without her glasses on, she was unable to see who it was, but she assumed it was the night nurse making her rounds. Not wanting the nurse to know she was awake, thus risking the chance of another pill being forced on her, this time a sleeping pill, Marie closed her eyes and feigned sleep. She lay there a few moments, her eyes firmly closed, listening. There were no more sounds of footsteps. She wondered briefly if the nurse had quietly moved down the hallway. Just before she was about to open her eyes, she heard it again. More footsteps. They weren't walking down the hallway. They were coming toward the bed. Still playing possum, Marie could feel the nurse hovering over her. With her eyes firmly closed, she remained motionless. After a few moments of complete silence, Marie wondered if the nurse had left her room. Fluttering open her eyes ever so slightly, Marie found herself looking up at a pillow hovering over her face. Before she could utter a sound, the pillow abruptly covered her eyes, nose, and mouth, cutting off the oxygen, followed by a person's body weighing down her covers, holding her in place. With Marie's hands both trapped under the blanket, crushed by the person applying the pillow, Marie could not reach out and push at the attacker. In a panic, she struggled under the pillow's suffocating confinement. Just when Marie was certain she was going to die, the pillow was removed from her face. She then heard the person run from the room. Taking a deep breath, the suffocating oppression gone, Marie opened her eyes and looked to the partially open doorway. Once again, she was alone in the room. Without thought, Marie jumped up from the bed and quickly made her way to the door leading to the hallway. She didn't consider using the walker, which stood near her bedside. For the last week, her physical therapist had insisted she use it, telling her she needed to get used to the fact she would never again walk without one. Yet at the moment, the walker was the last thing on Marie's mind. She looked down the dimly lit hallway. In view was a nurse's station. As usual, it was vacant.